Jamal had been delivering packages for nearly a decade. Every morning, he loaded his truck with parcels, weaving through the city's maze of streets, dropping off boxes to homes and businesses. He knew the neighborhoods well, the fancy downtown offices, the suburban streets lined with SUVs, and the industrial warehouses where workers barely looked up from their tasks. It was a routine he had mastered, a job that kept food on the table, even if it wasn't always appreciated. Some people saw him as nothing more than the guy who carried their online orders to the door. He had learned to ignore the condescending looks, the dismissive attitudes, and the impatience of those who thought they were too important to acknowledge him. But today was different. The delivery schedule showed an address he rarely visited, a towering corporate headquarters in the heart of downtown. The kind of place where suits walked with purpose, where the walls of glass reflected the city skyline. He had been here before, but not often. It was a high-end firm, one of those companies where everyone carried expensive briefcases and drank imported coffee. Jamal pulled his delivery truck up to the designated area and climbed out, grabbing a medium-sized package from the back. As he walked toward the entrance, he could already feel the eyes on him. Inside, a group of young executives huddled near the coffee station, laughing and whispering amongst themselves. Their expensive suits and designer watches screamed wealth and privilege. One of them, a man in an expensive navy suit, smirked as Jamal walked in. "Look at this guy. Probably took a wrong turn," he said just loud enough for Jamal to hear. Another chuckled. "Maybe he's here to apply for janitorial work." Jamal clenched his jaw but kept walking. He had heard worse before, and he knew better than to let it get to him. But something about their arrogance made his blood boil. He had worked hard his entire life, and he wasn't about to let some privileged executives make him feel small. He approached the reception desk, where a young woman barely looked up from her phone. "Delivery for Mr. Callahan," Jamal said, holding out the scanner for a signature. She sighed, glancing at the package like it was an inconvenience. "Take it to the loading dock." Jamal shook his head. "It says right here, direct delivery to his office." The receptionist frowned but didn't argue. Instead, she turned to the group of executives and rolled her eyes. One of them, a man with slicked back hair and a cocky grin, strolled over. "You deaf, buddy," he said. "The dock's in the back. No way you're walking through here." Jamal took a slow breath, steadying himself. "I'm just doing my job." Slick hair grinned wider. "Yeah, and how's that working out for you? Delivering boxes while we sign million-dollar deals." The others laughed. Jamal's hands tightened around the package, but he stayed calm. He had learned long ago that reacting with anger never worked in these situations. Instead, he simply met the man's gaze, his expression unreadable. "I'll go wherever the delivery instructions tell me to go," Jamal said, his voice even. A new voice entered the conversation. "What's going on here?" Everyone turned as an older man in a crisp gray suit approached. He carried himself with an air of authority, and Jamal recognized him instantly. "Mr. Callahan," the man whose name was on the package. Slick hair straightened up, suddenly looking nervous. "Oh, nothing, sir. Just directing this, delivery guy to the loading dock." Callahan's sharp eyes moved between the executive and Jamal, taking in the situation. Then he gestured to Jamal. "You have a package for me." Jamal nodded and handed it over. Callahan signed the scanner and gave him a small nod. "Thank you. That will be all." As Jamal turned to leave, he could feel the tension in the air. The executives had expected Callahan to back them up, but instead, he had acknowledged Jamal with simple, professional courtesy. As he stepped back outside, he exhaled, shaking off the encounter. He had a job to do, and he wasn't going to let a few arrogant men ruin his day. What he didn't know was that this wasn't the last time he would see them. And the next time, things would be very, very different. A week had passed since Jamal's unpleasant encounter at the corporate office. He had put it out of his mind, just another instance of disrespect in a world where people like him were often overlooked. But what he didn't know was that something had been set into motion that day, something that would change everything. Jamal was back on his route, delivering packages like any other day, when his phone buzzed with an unknown number. He almost ignored it but decided to answer. "Hello," a firm voice responded. "Mr. Jamal, this is Richard Callahan. Do you have a moment to talk?" Jamal straightened at the name. The same Mr. Callahan from that office. Why was he calling him? Yes, sir, Jamal replied cautiously. I'd like you to come to my office tomorrow morning, Callahan said. There's something important I need to discuss with you. Jamal frowned. Is there a problem with the delivery? Not at all, Callahan said. I promise you, this is something you'll want to hear. Jamal hesitated, but there was something about the man's tone, serious, almost urgent. I'll be there, Jamal said. The next morning, Jamal put on his best shirt and jeans and made his way downtown. He didn't know what to expect, but he had a strange feeling that this meeting would be life-changing. When he arrived at the office, the same receptionist from last time greeted him. Only this time, her attitude was completely different. She smiled, stood up, and said, Mr. Callahan is expecting you. Please, follow me. Jamal followed her through the sleek glass hallways, feeling out of place among the expensive decor and polished floors. She led him to a large office where Callahan sat behind a massive wooden desk. Come in, Mr. Jamal. Please, have a seat. Jamal sat, still unsure why he was here. Callahan leaned forward. I won't waste your time. I saw what happened last week with my employees. I saw how they treated you. Jamal stiffened but said nothing. I don't tolerate that kind of behavior in my company, Callahan continued. And after looking into it, I realized something. I don't know half the people who work for me. Jamal frowned. I don't understand. Callahan smiled slightly. I own this company, but I don't run it day to day. I have executives, managers, people who make decisions in my name. And yet, when I looked into some of these employees, the very ones who mocked you, I found something disturbing. Jamal remained silent, listening. They were hired through connections, not qualifications. They were promoted based on favoritism, not talent. And I realized something. I've been letting the wrong people make decisions in my business. That changes today. Jamal's mind raced. What does this have to do with me? Callahan smiled. Because I've also been looking into you. Jamal stiffened. Me? Callahan nodded. You've been delivering packages for 10 years. Always on time. Never a complaint. You work hard, show up every day, and do your job with integrity. That's the kind of person I want in my company. Jamal blinked. I don't understand. I'm offering you a job, Callahan said. Not as a delivery man, but as my new logistics supervisor. You'll oversee operations, make sure deliveries run smoothly, and ensure no one in this company ever disrespects a hard worker again. Jamal stared. This had to be some kind of joke. But I don't have experience running an office. Callahan chuckled. You've managed delivery schedules for 10 years. You know efficiency better than half my executives. I'm willing to train you. If you're interested, the position is yours. Jamal felt his heart pound. He had spent years being treated like he was invisible, like he was just another worker no one cared about. And now, he was being given an opportunity he never expected. A chance to prove himself. A chance to rise above the people who had mocked him. Jamal took a deep breath and met Callahan's gaze. I'll take it. 3 weeks later, Jamal walked into the office, no longer in his delivery uniform but in a crisp suit. The same executives who had laughed at him now avoided eye contact as he passed. Because they knew. One by one, Callahan had reviewed their positions. Some were fired, some were demoted, and some had been forced to answer for their arrogance. And the man they had once mocked. He was now their boss.